Philadelphia Inquirer. Ben grabbed that late rebound off of the Joel miss.
With 19 seconds.
Yes.
Yes.
And went right back up with it.
Yeah.
And just said now to us that he felt like that was the right thing to do. That's a shot he makes in practice all the time. It was instinct. What did you think of that? I mean, would there be more value in kicking it out, running some clock? What do you think happened?
There would be, but I respect his. I mean, it's a smart question, and it should be a question that he should ask. You know, I think that if it was a point-blank dunk, you know, you probably would take that. But, you know, he didn't do it. It's true he makes that all the time in practice. There's 19 seconds left. If we had it again, you'd probably, you know, bring it back out and, you know, let him chase you and foul it and chew up the clock. But on so many levels, Mike, you know, this being one of them or examples, it's the thing that I see and feel the most and sort of internally hear the loudest, that our young guys at times, you know, look young, and we're going to have to find places in this experience and learn from it, and that's a great example of one of them.
Brett, to your left, Marcus Hayes, Philadelphia Daily News. Is it just that? Is it just that the young guys played young at the end of this game, and specifically, there's one play that in regulation, I think JJ turned the ball over, but it looked like there was some confusion at the top of the key. Can you address that play?
Sure.
And maybe elucidate a little bit more on the.
There's no confusion. There's no confusion. It's a play. I mean, I know you've seen us play a lot, so you would have seen it 8 times every game for 88 games. And it's no confusion. It was just the Celtics bent JJ over, and defensively did a good job, and we threw it away. And it wasn't confusion.
Can you speak a little bit more? Do you think that you guys can get past this in this series, or do you the youth, or do you think that it's just what we're
No, and the last thing I want to do is lean on youth. You know, I don't want to do that. I give credit to the Boston Celtics. They played in the Eastern Conference Championship last year with, you know, a handful of the players that they have. We are navigating through this. This isn't entirely a youthful thing at all. Nobody write that. This is something that, you know, some of the matchups have hurt us. I respect their positional defensive athleticism, you know, and switchable people. And so, like, that's the story. It definitely is not the youth. I do think, you know, when the lights go out, like I will think it is in many ways. Joel's going to learn a lot. Ben Simmons is going to learn a lot. It's painful admitting that now, but there is some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that.
Brett, Sarah Todd, Philadelphia Inquirer, Philly.com. Bellinelli obviously had that shot to send it into overtime. Wanted to get your comments on that and how that was feeling in that moment. But also he had the final shot in overtime. What were you looking to get out of that play?
Well, the one in regulation, you know, we had drawn to be a walk-off 3. You know, let's just walk off 3. And I thought it was. I mean, I actually left the court. And the play at the end, you know, when you go through, like even in regulation, Ben got stuck on a sideline and burnt a timeout, you know, and you wished you had that back in regulation. We had used our timeouts in overtime, and it's just a situational play. When you don't have a timeout, how can you advance the ball? How do you find something the length of the court? And we drill it a lot. We drill it a lot. And, you know, we got a look out of it. It wouldn't have surprised me if he made that shot. He makes those types of shots. But it's something that we practice without a timeout when you have to move the ball the length of the court.
Brett, Steve Baldhead, Boston Herald. How surreal was that situation at the end of regulation with the confetti and having to take time to sweep the floor to start over? It just seemed rather strange. What was it like for you?
Well, initially, because you think you've just won the game, let's just start with that. And then, you know, you come back on and, you know, there's confetti. It's not horror. You know, you move on. It slows the game down a lot, but you move on. You know, years ago, you might remember when Ginobili hit the bat flying around the gym out of midair. I don't know if anybody remembers that. That took some time off the clock as well. That's amazing. If you ever get bored, go back and look at the YouTube clip of Ginobili hitting a bat out of midair. And, you know, the confetti's coming down, and I'm more thinking about I wish it was a three-point shot than I am the confetti.
Coach, athletic, I'm not going to go AP broadcast again. Just talk about the situation you find yourselves in right now. What do you all try to implore your team going into Game 4 on Monday?
I think, and this interests me as much as anything, teams that are down 3-0 have a record of 129-0. Now think about that. And if I'm wrong, you can speak to Patty, because that was given to me before I went into our locker room. And so just think about that number. And the number to me, 0, happens more out of spirit than talent. Like, there's a breaking point we all have. And I believe that if we can maintain our spirit, why couldn't we be the one? And I mean that. And, you know, that's my goal with us, is to fight, to keep our mind believing some of what I just said, I hope all of it, and let their bodies recover and give us a chance. And that's all I know. I can't see any other way to approach this that makes sense to me, and so that's what we're going to do.
Brett, Howard Eskin, WIP and Fox 29, right here, Brett. You said you don't want to blame it on youth, but are the expectations of this city and these people too high for too much for a young team, and have they handled that well?
The city?
Yeah.
This is the thing, though, that makes the city great. You know way better than what I know, but this is my 5th year here. They are just passionate. They just want to win. And when you win 17 games in a row, and then you win 4-1 against a good Miami Heat team, there are expectations, and in many ways, rightfully so. What we've all learned is when you get into matchups, they can contradict and challenge recent form. The regular season is very different than the playoffs. We understand that. And the fact is, the Boston Celtics do expose some of our weaknesses. They can defend positionally quite well all by themselves. The abundance of three-point shots that we were used to getting in the regular season and a little bit in the minor doesn't happen as frequently. You know, Joel has 2 elite defensive players in Al Horford and Aaron Baines as an example that he just got to figure out. And it's physical, and so somewhere with all of that, I think I understand the city. I get the city, and so be it. And then I put my basketball hat on and I say, you know, we've seen this. Sometimes you get into a bad matchup, and we have to perform better. There is no doubt about that. I am not leaning on the youth. I'm the coach. I'll take responsibility for all of this. But there are portions of what I have just said that I know to be true.